I used to gamble every time I got hold of money, and it got to the stage where I was lying. I was lying to my children when they would invite me to parties, and I would be too busy gambling, so I wouldn't turn up.
I was stealing from my mother, and she was a soft, free-spirited person like I am. But she had enough. She said, it was the third time, fourth time maybe. And she said, you do this again, I'm calling the police. In that moment, I knew that that was it. I was like, I just decided it's finished.
I believe the stigma that was attached, that I was hopeless, I was a no-hoper, I was a loser, I'd never be able to give up. I had no contact with my kids, I had no contact with, I had no friends. I really had nowhere to live. I was going from one place to another.
I never gambled. It was my ex-husband. He was a gambler. And my family and I, we suffered through his addiction.
Before I was only focused on gambling, and it just took most of my life was only work and gambling. I didn't know anything else.
Gamblers will describe it as a demon, devil on your shoulder that keeps dragging you back. People may even explain that they don't know how they end up at a place. They're just driving down the street and the next thing they know, they're pressing a button.
But once I had the money in my hand, I went to the pokies. And that's what it was like every day.
That time we didn't know much about gambling. How can people get gambling addicted to gambling? I didn't have much knowledge.
An alcohol-affected person was to get on to the tram, and you'd probably realise that they were an alcoholic or they had an alcohol problem. If a drug addict got onto the tram, you'd notice. But if a gambler got on, they just looked like anyone else that was getting on the tram.
When you're gambling, you wake up in the morning with this guilty feeling, this feeling of anxiety, because something's wrong. You just know things aren't right. You have these bad feelings.
My physical well-being wasn't up to scratch. You don't sleep well. You get to the point where everything just feels hopeless. Like, I can't give up. I'm hopeless. I can't do it.
Because he never accepted that he is a gambler and that he has any problem. He always blamed other people. And like when I was leaving him, he was blaming me. He said, no.
People who've suffered gambling harm do not talk. They do not tell their story. They don't tell about their sadness. They don't tell about their losses because it's embarrassing, it's shameful.
Before you can be honest with others, you need to be honest with yourself, How much damage have you caused in your life? What sort of problems is it having? We're trying to avoid harm. So be honest about, are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with the consequences and the outcomes? And if you're not, why?
Yeah, all those things started going through my mind, and I decided then and there that I really needed to do something, because otherwise, this was my third attempt. The spiral was just going around and around. Every second year, I was attempting to take my life because I'd found myself in such a deep hole.
And I did other things compulsively, and I thought, I need to find out why. So I sought help through Gamblers Help, and I did counselling. And my counsellor there said, what would you like to achieve? I said, I want to be able to help others who suffer like I do.
On the way, I met a lot of empowering people who helped me. Even when I was in a refuge, and I met this beautiful lady who gave me a book called How to Say No.
We just have to have the courage to tell a friend there is help available. I went through it, and if people haven't been through it, get somebody, find out there's plenty of us around that need help, that are willing to give help.
Talking to my family and my loved ones, the reaction was incredible. It was so supportive. They were so understanding. They showed me love to help me recover.
Win in gambling, there's nothing compared to the feeling of love, because it's real and it's connection. So it's love and connection, to answer your question. That is the best feeling.
Being able to talk to someone, even if it's a counsellor or a trusted friend or a trusted family member is such a relief to get it off your chest.
And no matter how bad you are and how bad your gambling was, there is help available. All you have to do is look for it.
So I could not have this self-awareness and speak with this clarity without being honest, not only with myself, but with other people, and reaching out for that help, saying, you know, I need help.
And to be able to talk about it openly and freely is, every time I do it, it's therapeutic.
So as a human being, we can't just leave anyone and go away. We do help. And especially if it's our partner, we do be there for that person and help.
I think the most fulfilling is helping others.
My intention and my conviction is to keep going with this and to go more, you know, to get more sober, to stay completely sober from gambling. My life is just so much better now, so much more fulfilling and rewarding. I'm much happier.
So you should bring your negative story into positive. That's what I have done. Positive, and get strength from that.
I'm so grateful I stopped, because I don't know where I would have been or how low I would have sunk. My life now is so different.
Never give up. Life is so beautiful.